Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to the channel. I have a great update today. Some good things, some bad things, but finally the end to the saga of the Bliss sensor issue on the F150. So here's what happened. After installing them and trying to use ForScan to get them to pull up, when I read them in ForScan, you'll see this in the last video, I could not get the modules to show up in ForScan. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it to a dealership. I'll see if they can use a different scanner, use a different tool, and maybe they'll be able to see the modules and reprogram them. Took it to a dealership and actually had a good experience at the dealership for one of the first times ever in my life. Dealerships are the worst, but this one actually did a really good job. The advisor was super helpful. They tried to look into it as well, and they couldn't find the modules either. I'm guessing he probably used ForScan as well, but he wouldn't really tell me what they did. He couldn't find the modules, they wouldn't show up, and basically said, these modules are faulty or they're not the right ones. Maybe they're from a different trim level and they don't work with this, but whatever it is, they don't work. So I got the truck back. I paid a little bit for the time that they put in. And I basically decided, like, all right, cool, I'm done with this. I just want to get the light to go away on the dash because there's two pop-ups whenever you first start the truck. It's super annoying. After all I've done to this truck and how nice it is, I don't want to have a pop-up like my vehicle is broken. So I was like, cool, I'll just take the sensors out, I'll return them. Good old eBay, you know, hit the return button, send that back, and then see if I can just turn off the Bliss. See if the lights will go away. There's the two pop-ups in the dash and then the one little light that stays on constantly. So I was like, cool, let's see if I can do that. So I took them out. Here's the two Bliss modules, returning those soon. Not hard to take out, the exact same process of how I put them in, which is in the video and stuff. I'm actually gonna get one more thing for some protection, a tailgate lock, and may or may not show this in the video later, but they're out of the taillights, and then I had to try to reprogram the computer. So good old ForScan once again, plugged into those, and then I'll show you here what I did. I finally am successful, and I'm happy with where I'm at with this. So okay, so I'm in the truck, I'm on accessory mode, plugged in with ForScan. I'm already connected to the vehicle here, and I'm pulling up the modules. So not the top left, it is this button here, and then underneath IPC, not odometer, right, but module configuration, as built format. The as built will pull the numbers and not the words and stuff, and it is two numbers in total. So it's 720-0101, this very top line here, and then it's 720-0301. So in order to turn off the Bliss, the top line here, 720-0101, it just has to be a 6 right there. Changes from a 7 to a 6. And then down in 0301, instead of 605, it becomes 2005. Just change that. Don't hit the buttons here, I just hit right all at the very bottom. I can put a picture in of the beforehand of what this looked like, but basically just those numbers changed. So those two things, hit right all, and then it will walk through the rest of the steps, and then bam, the lights went. When I recycled the key, turned it off and then back on, the light went away and the Bliss is disabled. And so I will turn on the truck after this, but finally I'm happy with where that's at least now. Whenever I turn the truck on, it doesn't look like something's broken with it. I will not have Bliss on it, but after all the things that I've tried, I don't feel like trying anymore. I don't feel like buying new Bliss sensors. When I asked at the dealership how much it is to buy new Bliss sensors, he said that with a lower price for an insurance quote, not the actual total high price with taxes and everything, it's $635 per side, so $1,270 for just the sensors. And then in theory, if the sensors were proper, you would be able to pull them in ForScan and would be able to program them properly using what I was trying to do in the last video. But you would have to have the sensors that work properly. So I don't feel like spending $1,200. I don't feel like trying again on used ones, so I'm kind of giving up, but I am happy with this solution for right now. This does work. So next, I'm just gonna do a couple of things in ForScan. I wanna tweak a couple little things. The Bambi mode and then turning off the chime whenever you walk out of the truck with the key. So I'll do that here in a second. I'll show you how that works. Okay, so I have it pulled up on my phone right now, but there's a spreadsheet, and I will put the link for this in the description, but it has pretty much all the cheat codes for things you can change on the truck. So the one that I really want to do right now is the double horn honk disable, and that is whenever the vehicle is running and you have the key in your pocket, if you get out, it will honk twice, and it scares you every single time. I'd love to just turn that off. So it says go to the BCM and then 7264102, change the 4th in the first box to 0. So body control module here, just gonna hit play, hit OK. Gonna go all the way down to 726-4102. So right here, this one, and then we'll double check with my phone, 726-4102, and the very first one, it's a 1 right now. Just gonna change it to 0, and then hit write all. It's gonna say, do you want to continue? I'm gonna say yes. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. It does the beeping. Cycle the ignition off and then back on. This is the same thing it did whenever I was turning off the Bliss stuff. So it's off and then back on. And I'm gonna click OK, and then I'm done this area, so I'm just gonna hit stop, and then I'm gonna just make sure that everything is good and test it. So I'm gonna hit disconnect. It shows down there the red disconnected, so I'm gonna go ahead and yank this, turn it off, and then we're gonna test it. Okay, so I got vehicle running. I've had to let it run for a minute or so to get it fully loaded up on the screens and stuff. This is the wireless CarPlay, so I just want to make sure it fully loaded everything. Look at that beautiful dash without any pop-up errors. Now I'm going to test. I've got the keys in my hand. I'm going to get out. Used to before, it would beep twice, and it's super loud. Door just shut, no beep. The ForScan packs, they do actually work. So there's a couple other cheats that you can do. The Bambi mode is a really common one as well. Whenever you turn your high beams on, normally the truck will turn off the fog lights. Bambi mode just keeps the fog lights on still, so you can see Bambi. There's a ton of other things, but that's the only really thing that annoyed me, is I hated that. You get out of the truck and it beeps at you and you're like, yeah, I know, I have my keys. Like, it's cool. Even if I don't have my keys, there's a passcode on the door so I can get in. So if you want to see any other things, I'll put the spreadsheet in the description. It's kind of hard to find in ForScan. It's like hidden in the frequently asked questions or something like that, but I'll put the actual link to the Google spreadsheet in there. Whoever made that, you are a godsend, because it's literally a cheat code to whatever you want to do on your Ford. But yeah, super happy that I've finally made some progress. Truck is now finally, in my opinion, 100%. I wish that I could still have the Bliss sensors, but someone stole my lights, so that's how life goes. You roll with punches and you figure out the next best thing. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I hope this has been helpful. I know it's been kind of a long journey and drawn out, and you might not follow all these videos all the way through, but just wanted to share. my experience and hope that it helps somebody. Okay, actually I'm recording one more little thing for this video. So I did add the tailgate lock right here. So it's a McGuard lock. And if you don't have this lock, then basically you bring the tailgate up to an angle and you can just yank it out super easily. So the lock is like 25 bucks on Amazon. It goes on in like 30 seconds and super worth it. Just putting the cap on here now. Yep. This is the tailgate lock right here. This piece is for GM, the other piece is for Ford. And then yeah, it has a special locking nut that is not a normal size that will make it really hard for people to get it off. Okay, very last thing, I decided to paint the screws here. Just put some painter's tape around them, painted them black, just because whenever I had to take this off, it got rid of all the liner that was on there. And covering them in black with the paint will also put a little bit of paint in the way of the grooves of the screw, so if you're trying to get them off, it'll make it harder to get them off. And then also it just makes it all look nice and black and clean and uniform. So that is finally everything. Thanks for watching.